You get it? We're good? Okay. So, come on in. Take a sip. Let's wind down on the Tuesday grid. Mein Name ist Christopher und ich bin hier für die Kreuzworträtsel mit dir. So, hallo, herzlich willkommen und guten Abend. Why don't we just think about how good it is to get to see a beautiful Tuesday. We're almost through July. Seems like we should probably be in a better mood. So let's work on that. And why don't you join me? I'm having the Schwarzriesling again, which is the dark or the black Riesling. And it is so good. And I've determined that it really is probably best being chilled. It's just an amazing thing. Yeah, good stuff, right? So let's hop into this grid. Let's see what we got here today. So looks like we have a co-construction by Sarah Sinclair and Amy Walker, edited by Joel Faliano. Our best to Will Shorts as always. What do you say we hop into our Tuesday grid? Let's see what we got today. All right. Okay, so city, highway, combined stat, miles per gallon maybe? Actor McFadden of Succession. That's Matthew. I think I was a fan of the show. I mean, I guess I still am technically, though it's off now. So, but I love that show. Greek god often depicted with a helmet and a shield. I'm gonna go with Aries on this one. Like some free legal work, maybe pro bono. Role for which James Gandolfini won 3 Emmys. I think that was Tony Soprano. Let's see. Fictional country in the Princess Diaries. Oh, my Lord. Was it Genovia or something? I can't remember. Hardee's Steakhouse option and a T-bone here, right? Kind of lane marked with a diamond and probably the HOV. Yeah, I think it is Genovia. And if it is, hey, right? I mean, pride point. Cipher machine of World War II. And that would probably be the Enigma. That is one of those things that I wish I had. I would love to have an actual Enigma machine. Like the real thing. Or a really good replica. That would just be cool. You just blew my mind. Using a modern slang. Well, is it whoa? That's using a modern spelling. Okay, I was about to say, is there really anything new about whoa? I mean, other than the primary line that is always repeated by Keanu Reeves in every movie that he creates, right? Whoa! That's my Keanu Reeves. I have a similar one for Al Pacino. So, she's got Keanu and Al Pacino. Can you imagine if they ran into each other at the store? Keanu would be like, whoa! And then Pacino would be like, so! There you go. No, I think that's an H. So what we got here? A pickle to a Brit. It's not just the Brits. It's also a pickle to the Germans too. Gherkin. Gurken here, but Gherkin there. And I think it's because, well, I mean, if you're a fluent German speaker, and you could go back in time to the day before Guillaume le Conquérant arrived in 1066, you could probably understand completely what was being said in England at the time because, yeah, it was a Germanic language. I mean, and English still is, but I'm just saying. It's like essentially half and half now, French and English, right? Or French and German, so you kind of already speak a lot of it, right? That's how I always look at it. Stable, temperament, I haven't got a clue, but I feel like it's even something, and it's got too many letters for Keel, so we'll get it. Title for Julie Andrews or Maggie Smith, and that is, of course, Dame. Dame Julie. And here we have Ada Twist, scientist. Dominant wolf in a pack, and I guess this is an alpha. It has really been a long day. I got up this morning at like 4:50 or something. I think I got all of about 4 hours of sleep last night, according to my Fitbit. So Corporate money manager, probably the CFO. Pampering place for purring pets. Pampering place for purring pets. Say that really fast 8 times, right? I don't know, maybe a cat spa. I've never even heard of one, but I think that's what they're shooting for. Fruit-filled pastry. I mean, tart, imperfect. How about flawed? Okay, so this H and this T are a little nerve-wracking. Start of an online address. Well, it was nerve-wracking, and now it's not. Now I think we got HTTP. Give a thwack, swat. What a best friend from camp might become. Maybe a pen pal. Out of the country, maybe abroad. Common degree for a professor. Yes, true. Wide open grassland, and it's prairie. Blank chic fashion style. Well, I don't know for sure, but starting with a B, might as well go with boho to try. I kind of like it. Well, I like everything. I mean, really, there's not a lot that I don't like, except for awful fill. And thus far, we've had one bit of a groaner at PhD, but the other 3-letter that was kind of a groaner here is the HOV. But at least it's better than ERR, right? Let's say Silicon Valley City, whose name translated to tall stick, and that would be Palo Alto. And 5 menos 3 is 2, so 5 minus 3. Promising romantic encounter. Ooh. Well, Schatzi comes home on a flight Saturday morning to Munich. So I will be there, ready for my hot date. As she's like, I'm jet lagged. Take me home. I'm going to bed. Well, yeah, totally got it. So if you're getting ready to yell surprise, maybe you're hiding, right? Rock climber's notch, maybe a toe hold. An article that Ohio State University surprisingly managed to trademark in 2022. Well, of course, this is the definite article that they acquired somehow, and I think it's surprisingly, but you have to admit, anytime you meet one of these Buckeyes fans, that's all they can talk about is the Ohio State, you know, kind of a thing, right? Those of us that went to like TCU were just like, go Frogs. Riff Ram Bazoo. Clean Air Org. Let's look at EPA. The interesting little interchange here with ETA. And is this an alley-oop? Yep. Okay, cool. Okay, I feel good about it all. Don't want to be surprised later. Guinness of Star Wars. Well, speaking of Dame Maggie, we're going to go with Sir Alec. And word after G or E. And how about mail? Shawarma holders. Oh, it's my favorite food on this planet is Lebanese. Well, any Arabic food. It's all so good. I'm going to go with pitas. Food with a shell. How about a taco? And so I guess the stable temperament may be an even tenor. This is the second time in less than a week that we've had the term tenor used and not as a descriptor for someone's vocal range. Hard pass. Oh gosh. That could be no. It could be nope. Who knows? Let's see. Have a predilection for. Well, it must be a nope because I'm thinking this is prefer. This is one of those days, isn't it? It's not going to necessarily be challenging, but maybe this will be down in this one corner down here that'll just all of a sudden want, you know, the preferred spelling of hypotenuse in Mandarin Chinese or something. But right now, it's looking like it's pretty easy. Where to ride ATVs and dirt bikes. I'm going to go off-road with those. Tiny bit, an iota. Length from fingertip to fingertip, perhaps. And this is an arm span. I know, I just had my measurements taken by my tailor, and one of them was my arm span. Interesting. And the German word that she used for that was Armenspann. Well, it sounds just like the English almost, right? Close relatives. Oh, well, it's a good thing I had that F and that M here already, because I would have put in kin, especially when it said informally. But no, we must be talking about the fam. Simone Biles' squad, I guess that's Team USA. Novelist Dan Brown, yes. I read all of his books in my off time over my first 2 deployments. Like it was like these Dan Brown books just showed up. It's like Da Vinci Code, and the first one came out. That was a big, thick one, right? Can't remember the name of it, though. Ken's Mojo Dojo Casa House. That's funny. I remember that from Barbary. That was good. Fearsome Middle-earth creature. Get me to Tolkiening out. Standards, norms. Got it. Used as a doorbell. How about rang? You rang. Permit. Maybe let. Now what do we got here? Because what the ends of 17, 31, 37, 48 are. Well, soprano, alto, tenor, which means that this must be a bass. Or freshwater fish named for its shoreline habitat, a rock bass. Do you just love it when they just give you the answers to stuff like that? General feeling could be a vibe, and I was going to get down here and try to finish this. So we have a bass, a tenor, alto, soprano, and it's too long for a vocal group, so I'm going to go with a choral group. Let's see, hard pass, yep, that's going to be a no. And under the sea, tangle, maybe snarl. Yeah, but when I think of snarls, I don't think of tangles. I don't think of traffic, really, right? I think of like canines, that's what I think of. So I'm gonna get my mind around that on occasion. Easier said than done. Opera solo and aria. About 90% of all volcanic rock on Earth, and that would be basalt. Hillsborough hops. Mascot with a mascot named Barley. I must mean it's hops. I mean that's what I'm. One who's always calling people out. How about an umpire? Yeah, a fire. And reason to carry an inhaler could be very well asthma. I don't think I fat fingered anything. Pioneer in arcade games, yes. Yes, Atari. Word in the name of many design colleges, well, of course. So adorbs could be too cute. Too cute. British Conservative Party, colloquially. Yes, I do believe they lost the last election big time for the first time in a long time. I mean, it's been a long time, but I think that the Tories, I don't know what happened with them, and but Labour Party sure did raked in a pretty big winning on that. So interesting. I don't have an opinion either way, but I can tell you, it's in the world headlines. One getting bent out of shape at work, and I wouldn't know otherwise. Is this a con here? Swindle? Yes, I guess this is acrobat. And until now, maybe yet. School fundraising group, maybe the PTA. And do some snooping. Spy and teacher's cover is a sub. And how do we do, Bob? We probably could have cut that in half if I'd done a third less jaw-jacking, right? But it just wasn't a bad puzzle at all. It just wasn't very challenging. It was nice to see Enigma in there. I noticed that 18 down was a seam, and all I could think is, I wonder if that has to do with lead or iron or coal, anything. When we're talking about an ore, something that you're digging for. Otherwise, that could have been a little crazy, but no, I think this was a totally gettable puzzle. You could probably done downs only or crosses only with it. Don't generally try to do those on Tuesdays because sometimes they get just a little too hairy, but you know what? Probably could have today. It probably wouldn't hurt. I certainly would not try to do downs or crosses only on a Wednesday or beyond because that would just be, can't even imagine, but it's all good. So to this grid and to all of you for being here, hey, I'll drink to that. And with that, let's run you along until tomorrow. And I want to say real quick before we get to goodbye that, again, overnight, subscriber count is growing. Thank you. Likes, comments, amazing. Thank you. I have a viewer up in, I should say our community has a viewer up in Poland. Her name is Majus, I think, and she's been working on her English by slowly mastering the mini crossword. And I think yesterday she came in at 35 seconds, which that was impressive because I came in at 34. So I keep telling her if I ever make my way up there to Krakow, I will have to sit down and let her beat me at a mini crossword because she's just phenomenal. And Randoza right here in Germany keeps posting some really great times, right? You know, this is not their first language. And so I would remind everybody that when you meet somebody with an accent, right, you know, a different accent than everybody else in the country you're in, what you can chalk that up to is bravery, right? That is one brave soul. When you talk to anybody that has an accent, that is a brave soul, because I happen to know this for a fact. I mean, even if my German or my French, or even if I'm good at them, I'm not completely like ready to go teach a literature class in German. I can't teach a French literature class in Paris. Certainly couldn't do it in any other language other than English, but I probably could in English. But the reality is that, you know, when you find yourself in another place where you don't understand all the idioms, right? You don't understand all the colloquialisms, all of these things, you know, like these idiomatic translations make no sense. If you ask somebody in German, you know, like, you know, hey, blah, 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 ABC 1, 2, 3, what do you think? And they have no interest or they have no opinion or they don't know anything about it. They'll just say, das ist nicht mein Wurst. Das ist nicht mein Wurst. This is not my sausage. Right? I mean, this is not my sausage. Like, what is that supposed to mean? Even if I, as an American, could hear, okay, this is not my sausage. I'll be like, yeah, but was ist sausage? Like, was ist ein Part für the... I mean, it's crazy. You know what I mean? So I think when you see people, and you hear people with an accent, you're talking to someone, you know, with a lot of bravery, a lot of courage. And so whenever I see people working through these grids in English and American English, we're doing the New York Times here, right? It's not like we're doing the London Times or something, right? You know, we're doing the New York Times. And I got to tell you, it's a very courageous thing. It's a totally gutsy thing. And it's very admirable when you see people like that just knocking it out. If you're doing these grids and you're from some of the wonderful places I'm seeing on the geographical counter, from Brunei to Southeast Asia, put a note in the comments or send me an email. Let me know, where are you actually from? I need to update our goodbye slide maybe. We need to get your language on there. I mean, very impressive. You know, I'd like to know more about that because, I mean, that's a celebration right there, in my opinion. If I ever could conceive of one, that's a thing to celebrate right there. So amazing. So with that said, and in a cacophony, litany of languages, ich wünsche Ihnen einen schönen Tag noch, auch einen Tag. Grüß Gott, Servus, auf Wiedersehen, Tschüss, ciao, Cin-Cin. And we'll see you tomorrow for the Grid Mini. Be well. Take care.